All right. So my name is Rudy, guys. I'll be teaching the class today, this webinar, and basically we're going to be going over how TrueType fonts can, how to utilize TrueType fonts to make those designs a lot nicer, a lot more professional, and different ways that you can utilize TrueType fonts to make your life easier as well. Of course, to be able to make those designs a lot quicker and get those projects out to your customers at a much faster pace. So we're going to be going over some different TrueType fonts that we have. Also showing you a couple different ways to add them into a design, as well as maybe have some freebies at the end of the webinar as well. I know you guys all like freebies. Who doesn't, right? All right, so it looks like we do have a full house today, guys. So let's go ahead and get started here. Now, have any of you guys have actually worked with TrueType fonts before? Is anybody actually working with TrueType fonts at the moment? So I do have a poll here. Let me go ahead and let's see. So let me go ahead and you guys answer the question I have. I'm going to pull up right here right now. All right, so the question is, do you currently work with TrueType fonts? I just want to kind of get a better understanding of who here is actually working with these fonts. And, if you have any questions in regards to the fonts, please feel free to ask, as I have Doc Brown on the other side answering all the questions for you guys. Unfortunately, you guys aren't able to actually see everybody's questions, but he is able to see the questions, and he is going to actually answer all those for you as well, at least the ones I can't get to. All right, so it looks like 58% of you say yes, looks like 55 actually, 12 say no, and 21% say do not know how to. Awesome, awesome, which is what I like to see. Obviously, this is more of a beginner webinar, so I do want to see more of beginners in here that have never or, are just starting out using the TrueType fonts. I think they benefit the most. Of course, if you guys are using TrueType fonts, I'm sure you'll find some things, you'll benefit from as well from this webinar. All right, Jasmine said, yes, I'm looking for some to use today for a car decal. Awesome, Jasmine, awesome, awesome. Cindy said, not a lot. So I do, like I said, I do like to see a lot of the no's in these polls just because it, kind of shows me that, I can do different things with the fonts to show you guys here. All right, so let's go ahead and close our poll here. All right, guys, so now for those of you that have never seen a TrueType font, the difference between a TrueType font and just your basic converting a word into a Rhinestone file is the ease of use, obviously. With the TrueType font, you're able to type it out and have your resize tool resize it to the correct size, and that design is done. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's just say you want to type out, and we go ahead and use baseball, and then we're going to go ahead and make this about the 9.5 size here. Perfect. And let's just choose our different fonts. So let me go ahead and use Impact. Actually, let me go ahead and choose something a little bit different here. So let's just go Impact. Let me see if this works for us here. All right, so something like this, which is a more of a thinner font. Now let's just say you want to go ahead and put some stones around this font right here and create your baseball word. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead here and hit my Add Stone Selected Path. But before that, let me go ahead and change my spacing here. And of course, this is all irrelevant to the actual TrueType font part of it. I just want to show you what the difference between the TrueType font and converting a normal word into a file, into a Rhinestone file. And I do have some questions coming in, and I will answer as many as I can as they're coming in. Also, like I said, Daniel, aka Doc Brown, is on the other side answering the questions for you guys as well. And Bobby said, I want to know how to get the fonts with icons like baseball. And that's a great question, Bobby. Actually, I'm going to go over that in this webinar as well. Now, those fonts we do offer on the website. I can show you later on where those are, but I'll go over how to use those as well in this webinar. So great question, Bobby. Oh, and Sue said, I'm using them but manually adjust to stone size. Oh, okay. And I'll show you, Sue, how to better use these fonts. Again, this webinar is going to go over the ease of use of the TrueType fonts. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and add the stones. And we're going to see, it comes out pretty nice. You're going to do a lot of manipulating with the stones. Actually, this one came out a little rough. So there looks like it's going to be a lot of manipulating in this design. So obviously that's going to be a little bit time consuming, as you can tell, because that font was so thin. So what we have done is created TrueType fonts, which is what we're going to be going over today. So look at the difference between actually trying to stone it out or just using one of the TrueType fonts that's already created. So let's go ahead and type out baseball. And I'm going to go to my fonts here, and let's just choose any normal TrueType or TRW font that we have created. So let's just use TRW 12 rounded. So there you go, bam. Just click it once. You go to your Stone Wizard. I'm going to go to my resize design here, and what that does is going to ask me if I want all the stones to be the same size. I'm going to say yes, and what that's going to give me is the correct size. So now each stone in here is your correct 0.129 inches that we need that design to be at. and we know this font is ready to go, so that design is all set. So there's no manipulating. You don't have to edit any stones out. This design is set to go, and you can go ahead and change the colors, create your templates, and go from there. So again, just the ease of use of TrueType fonts is really what's going to benefit your business when working with these. All right, so now I do have some different kind of designs I want to create for you guys here, just kind of incorporating the TrueType fonts. And I do have another question. What font do you use again? Jasmine, for that one, I've used the TRW 12 rounded right here. So I'm going to show you again here. Let's go ahead and type out baseball. And the great thing about the wizard, what you'll see is in this fonts tab right here, obviously what I'm using is the find font folder here, which is going to, I'm going to be able to toggle through all the different fonts that we have in our font library. So I can just enter in here TRW, and you'll see all my TRW fonts that I have installed in my font library is going to be under this tab right here. You can also add the favorites to the top here where it says favorite fonts, and then, the ones that you use most often, you can find up here for easy use. Also, you'll notice that we have a font preview here, so this particular font can only be used in lowercase. Whereas we have different colored fonts, so if you have a two-color font, what you'll notice is you'll see where it says the uppercase is going to be the fill, and then the lowercase up here is going to show you the outline. So very easy to kind of understand what that font's going to do depending on, if you're using uppercase or lowercase letters for that. All right, so we do have a lot more questions coming in, and Kendra says, can you resize to any size? Kendra, the only way to resize the design when you're working with the TrueType fonts with Rhinestones TrueType fonts is by changing the stone size. So you can have a SS6, so let's go ahead and go here. So here we have our outline, and let's just say you want to change this to and make it into a smaller design. The only way to really do that is by changing the actual stone size. So right now I have my SS10 selected, but I want to change it to my SS6s, so I know this design is going to be a lot smaller. So I'm going to go ahead up here to my wizard. I'm going to go to my stone selection here where it's going to show me all the different size stones that I can use, and I'm simply going to go ahead and hit my resize design, and it's going to ask me not all stones are 0.097. Would you like to replace? I say yes, and now we have our 0.097 stones here. So you see that? So now this is designed for an SS6 stone. So now if I go to SS10s, notice what happens when I resize this one. Now my design is much larger, and I'm at the 0.129. So the only thing that's actually changing the size of the design is because I'm changing the stone size. So of course that's going to make the design smaller or bigger. All right. Now we do have some other questions here. I see Tanya. So in TrueType fonts, you don't have to manipulate stones. Tanya, the way we create all of our TrueType fonts, basically all those stones are ready to go. That design, once you type it out, except for when you're working with the script fonts, and I'll show you here with one of my designs I'm going to make here in a little bit, is with the script fonts you might have to move a couple stones around just to make it look more of like that flow, give it more of that script flow to it. Whereas with a blocky fonts like the one I'm using right now, the TRW7, this one there's no manipulating of the stones. This one's ready to go. Once you add your second color to it, you can go ahead and send it to your templates, create your templates, and go from there. All right. So if someone says they need a word that is 7 inches long or 2 inches tall, how can you adjust the font for the correct sizes? So in that case, if you don't find a font in our library, in our design downloads that's that size, in that case you probably would be best just to go ahead and create your own, stone out your own word. But if you notice where on our website, let me go ahead and let's see if I can bring up the website here so you guys can kind of get a better understanding how the TrueType fonts come in. So okay, I'm going to bring it in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to my design downloads. And you'll notice with every font that we'll create a mock-up with it. And in the mock-up, you can actually see where it says kind of give you a sample. And that's what you guys can use as a reference to, oh, if it says volleyball and it's 9.9 inches wide, then any word underneath that is going to be a perfect size for your design. So let's go ahead here, and I'm going to go under. Now, as you can tell, we have them all categorized under each individual sizes. So let's just say you want to go to if you want to looking for a font that's 1.6 to 2 inches tall, and now this is going to be based in the SS10 stones. So everything you see here is based off the SS10 stones. So let's just say you want to see the fancy font. Click on that, and what you have here is your sample. Again, it says fancy font. So that's a pretty, 2 words, and it's only 9.9 inches wide, so you can tell that's a smaller font there. It's 2.7 inches tall, so if you're looking for a smaller font that you're going to be able to fit it in a smaller space, this would be a great font for that. All right, and Bobby said, "Hey, are you guys having trouble listening or hearing anything I'm saying? I'm getting a couple of you saying that you have no audio." Hmm. Okay. Seems like we have some of you guys that can. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Anna. Awesome. Sounds like some of you can hear me and some of you can't. So bear with me as we go, and please let me know. We are recording this, and the recorded version normally doesn't have an issue with the sound. So, all right. So, and then I got another question here, and it's Erica says, "How can you tell what is a TrueType font?" Basically, Erica, the best way to know is in the title. It'll tell you right here, TrueType font, and also if you notice here, they're all going to say TrueType font in the actual mock-up. So anywhere you go, you're going to see TrueType font. You see that? So it makes it very easy for you guys to kind of recognize what's a TrueType font and what's just a normal download file. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Does anybody else have any questions in regards to the TrueType fonts? All right, awesome. And then Joanna actually said, "How do you know if a word is going to be too long for a shirt?" Now, Joanna, we normally keep it under that 10-inch in width for a design. So if you go over that, you technically will be, too big for that shirt. Of course, some of the bigger shirts, you might be able to get away with some of those bigger designs as well. Jasmine, card decals, we still keep it around under 6 inches just to make it, a smaller design for that back of the card. We don't want something that's too obnoxious on back there and too large. All right, I do apologize for those that can't get sound. Like I said, the recorded version will be, we've never had an issue with the recorded version with the sound, so that one will be posted within usually 28 to 48 hours. Arthur, at the moment we don't have we don't have a video that shows you how to create a TrueType font from scratch. You do need a separate software to make it into a TrueType font, which obviously is not our software, but that's why we don't have a video showing that. Of course, we have videos showing how you can stone out a word like I just did to you guys there using our Stone Wizard, but the actual TrueType font part of it, that's done all separate in a separate software. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started with the webinar. So first off, I do want to create, we got Thanksgiving right around the corner, so I'm going to go ahead and I want to create something nice for you guys so you guys can go ahead and get something out of the webinar for free here. So I'm going to create a Happy Thanksgiving with a nice little turkey on the side there for you guys. So first things first, I want to go ahead and use my text tool here, or if you guys notice at the top of the wizard, we also have, at the top, of Corel Draw, we also created a toolbar for Corel Draw that is basically all your main tools that you're going to be using when working with HTV designs, Rhinestone designs in Corel Draw. Just another tool make it easier for you guys to kind of manipulate and work on these designs that you guys are creating. All right. So Jane said, okay, Jane said that she's lost sound before and she just signed out and signed back in and that was fine. So if you guys are having trouble, try that and let me know if it works for you guys, all right? Miles wants to know, what material do you use to make the card decal? Miles, we use our own material. It's called the TRW Bling Anything material, and that's the material that allows you to put the stones directly to that material, press it, and then once you're ready to apply, just peel the backing off of it and put on your window or your flat surface, such as your computer, the back of your computer, phones. You can basically bling out anything with the Bling Anything material. Jasmine, will TRW offer a program like that? I'm guessing you're referring to the TrueType font program. It's not in the plans at the moment. Obviously, it's a separate software that we use just to create the TrueType fonts, but it's not something that we're looking into actually creating a software like that. All right, so let's go ahead and get our designs started here. So first thing I want to do is I want to obviously type out my Happy Thanksgiving. So what I want to use is a cool script font that we've created. And the cool thing about this font, it is 2 different sizes. So it's actually using SS10s and 6s, or you can also make it into SS16, 10s, and so on. So now we have actually a feature that we put into the 2.08. So if you have an older version of the wizard, this feature, this particular font won't work with your wizard. This is only going to be for those who have the 2.08 or higher. And I'm going to show you why here. So first I'm going to do is type out Happy. So we got our Happy. And another thing you can also do is actually, let's go ahead and duplicate this. Let's go ahead and make another one up here. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to my pick tool, and I'm going to duplicate my word here. And simply, I'm going to select the top happy. I'm going to go to my fonts, and remember I said that you can enter your favorite font at the top here. So I've already saved my TRW 02 script 2 font right here, and I know that's going to be a great font for what I'm trying to do. It's not too large of a font, so obviously when you create the Thanksgiving part of it, it's not going to be too large where it's not going to fit on the front of that t-shirt. So again, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to my stone wizard, and I'm going to hit my resize design. Now the difference is, before I was showing you guys just the one stone font. So what we're going to do here, it's asking me if I want them all to be 0.129, but I don't, because if I do, what happens is I'm going to go ahead and hit yes, and notice how, because this is a font, it was created with 2 different stone sizes, what happens is now all the stones are touching. But let's go ahead and go back to where we were before. Alright, and let's go back to selecting my TRW 02, and now in this case, instead of actually hitting that yes, what I'm actually going to do is click no. And now look what happens. Now it's perfect. So you got the SS10 stones here, the 0.097, and we got our 0.129, the SS10s. And now before, remember I said that there was going to be some manipulating that we're going to do here with the script fonts. This is what I mean by that. So right here, obviously, in order to make it look more like a script font, we want it to be touching here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a stone here. And look how easy it is just to add on to that. And then if you want to make it look more professional, then I'm simply going to go ahead and just select. I'm holding shift as I do this, so I'm going to go ahead and select all my stones here. I'm going to go to my respace tool, and bam, there we go. So that's it. That's how easy it is to add and respace those stones here accordingly. Again, I'm going to go ahead and just move a couple of these stones around just to make it look a little bit nicer and give it more of a script look to it. Perfect. So now we're ready to go ahead and create my Thanksgiving part of the design. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and type out Thanksgiving here. So you can actually double click, type, and we're just going to type out Thanksgiving. And again, because I know this is a smaller font, I know this word is going to fit just fine in that font. So I'm going to go back to my fonts, and I'm going to select my TRW 02 script. And actually, it looks like we need my T capitalized here. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my stone wizard, and I'm going to hit no. And there we go. We got our Thanksgiving at the bottom. And again, it's 7.8 inches wide, 7.9 inches wide, which is perfect for what we're trying to do here. Alright, so now what I can do is, I know this one is going to have to, we're going to have to do a little bit more manipulating here with the stones. And Jasmine, no, as Jasmine's question was, are all the script fonts 2 sizes? No, Jasmine, I'm actually going to show you another script font that we have that is only 1 stone size. So that's actually a great question there, Jasmine. Alright, so again, we're going to do a little bit of manipulating here. So I'm just going to add another stone here and simply use my respace tool to respace those accordingly. There we go. So look how nice that looks right there. We're going to go ahead and get this over just a little tad bit. Same with this. We're going to go ahead and add another stone here. And again, just select, and respace. And we're all set there. And then we're going to do the same thing down here with our G. And it looks like the S is needs a little bit fixing as well. And then just one more stone right here. So perfect. Looks like we're all set and ready to go there. So one thing I always like to do when I'm working with different words and letterings, I like to group them. So I'm going to go ahead and actually use my group tool here in the wizard. And that way, what that's going to allow me to do is basically, oh, looks like we got another one here. Actually, let me go ahead and fix that one for you guys. All right. And then we're just going to respace these. Again, perfect. So we're all set there. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and group these together. And that way, I can just go ahead and drag them wherever I need to without losing any stones behind. And I'm going to do the same with the top part here. So again, now we got our happy, we got our Thanksgiving here, and now what we can do is go ahead and bring this up, and we have our spot here open left for our turkey that we're going to go ahead and bring in here. So I got already a nice little PNG file of a turkey I'm dragging in here. As you can see, looks delicious. So now I want to go ahead and stone this turkey out for you guys. Now I do have some questions coming in, and Tanya wants to know, are there fonts already included with software at time of purchase? Yes, Tanya, great question. There actually is. You will get about, I believe, 6 TrueType fonts with the software that will come once you purchase it. It's just an instant download file ready for you guys to go ahead and install onto your font library folder. Cindy wants to know, when selecting the stones to get the spacing tool, do you hold down the shift? Yes, Cindy, what I was just doing there was basically holding down shift and selecting every stone, and that allowed me to select them all at once like that, like I just did. Alright, so I got my PNG file here, and it looks like this should work here. So let's go ahead and notice that right now I got my design at 7.8, so I know I got some room to work with. So if I really wanted to, I can move that happy all the way back here, and then I can still fit, you know, the turkey right here in the area I needed to fit it in. And notice my design is still at 9.5, which is just the right size for a rhinestone design shirt. So alright, so let's go ahead and let's get this turkey stoned out for you guys here. So now what you'll notice under our place and fill tab here is we have our single line trace feature down here at the bottom. Very useful, very cool tool that we've installed here in the wizard. And what that allows you to do is basically create this, convert this PNG file into a vector line file. And now if you do a single line, or excuse me, a left click, it's going to give you just a normal trace. So let's actually, let me go ahead and show you here. So if you do a single left click, what it's basically going to do is going to do a trace for you. And there you go. So you have your traced design ready to go. How can you get the PNG file? And Zia, that's just a PNG file we had that we had in our Dropbox from forever ago. I'm not exactly sure where they got it from. LaDonna, well, you discussed including any information about the Silhouette Cameo software in this webinar. Fortunately, we are not going to be mentioning anything about the Silhouette Cameo. We do have already videos created with using the Cameo and how to use TrueType fonts in the Cameo. But this one we're going to strictly stick to the Corel Draw and the TRW Stone Wizard 2.11. Sorry about that. Yeah, Kendra, you want to see that again? Absolutely. All right, so if I left click, so now let's go back to tracing the PNG file here. So now if I do a left click here, what I'm going to get is just a normal single line trace. So you guys see that, just a basic single click, left click right here where it says single line right below the place and fill tab. So you won't see that anywhere else unless you're under the place and fill tab. Single line, left click creates that vector file for you guys. Now, if you guys want to make it a little bit quicker, of course, you know, we've added a feature in the wizard to make this process just a little bit quicker. So instead of left clicking, what I want to do now is right click, and watch how cool this is. Oh, hey Bobby, welcome back. All right, so what I did there, I just did a simple right click. You see that? Actually, let me go ahead and redo that. So I'm going to actually select my, let's go ahead and try this again. Okay, perfect. So it looks like I got some stones here. So it's a smaller design, so you see there's a lot of things going on here. So I want to actually go ahead and fix the design just a tad bit here. So first I want to do is get rid of my paths. So you notice I have some paths in there. And I'm simply going to go here, clear paths. And I see there's a lot going on here, so I'm going to do a magic respace. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just delete some of the stones. Not sure what happened there. But all I'm doing is hitting my down key arrow, and I'm just getting rid of some of the stones there that weren't supposed to be there. You see that? So I just got rid of some of the stones, and it does look like I got some stones touching. So let's go ahead and clear the paths here. And what I can do is just get rid of these stones. And again, this is a smaller design, so you notice how it's going to give you kind of some weird spacing. So again, we just want to make sure we use our respace tool here. So I'm going to just go ahead and select, and I'm going to do respace, bam, so fix that top area up. Some weirdness going on here, and again, it's just because we're using a smaller design for that area. So what I want to do is get rid of this here, and let's just fix it up, just tab it, make it look a little bit more beefy there. So let's go ahead, and again, I'm just doing, to duplicate the design, I'm basically just doing a right click. There, perfect. Oop, there you go. So we got our turkey created here. Let's go ahead and fix this up just a tad bit. And notice we have some spots here that we need fixing. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight. And I'm just going to hit my respace. Oh, let's go back here one time. Sorry about that. And we're just going to go ahead and respace our design here. So again, you can just go ahead. I'm just clicking my shift. And then selecting all my stones in between there. You see that, guys? Oh, let's go ahead and respace this one. It looks like it duplicated there. So it looks like we got that space correctly, and now we're able to go ahead and respace this area right here. Actually, let me get rid of this one. We don't need that duplicate in there. All right, so let's go ahead and go back here. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and respace this design, and I'm going to hit my delete. Perfect. So it looks like we are ready to go. All right, so now what I can do is go ahead and drag this to the top here. And again, I'm just going to go group this design and bring it up to the top. So now what we got is our Happy Thanksgiving design created using TrueType fonts there. And again, it's a very simple trace of the turkey. And if you want, you know, you can obviously fix this up a little bit better here to make it more realistic. So there we go. Bam. Beautiful. So we're all ready to go, and we got our design prepped and ready to show off. Now, Let me go ahead and bring this happy up just a tad bit, and we're going to go ahead and also do the same with the turkey part of it. So there we go. And now if you want to go ahead and just customize it just a tad bit here, we can get rid of this one at the bottom here. And now we have our Happy Thanksgiving with our turkey design on the side. And I do have a question coming in. When I open PNG clip art and stones are touching, I can click on one and move, or will I have to release path? When I open PNG clip art and stones are touching. Now, Don, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by when you open a PNG file. Usually with the PNG files, you still have to convert them, and then you can place the stones on there. But if you're asking about a file that's already created, yes, yeah. If it's a file that's already created, all you have to do is just to ungroup it, and then you'll be able to move each individual circle. So like before when I started working with this design, I actually grouped these two together. So let's just go here, and then let's just say you want to group this together. This is what your design will mostly come in like this as one object. So in order to actually be able to work with each individual stone, you just have to ungroup, and then you're able to actually go in here and start working with each individual stone. You see that? So that's what's going to allow you to actually work with each individual stone and kind of manipulate that design to make it look a lot better. All right, so let's go back here, and we'll go ahead and get this design back on there. Alright, so now from here you guys are able to go ahead and create your templates. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and select my design. I'm going to go to my templates, hit my create TRW magic templates, and bam, there we go. We're all set, ready to go. So it looks like we have an extra one here that we don't need. And we'll get rid of that. Bring this together. And you'll notice because we use two different stone sizes here, that's the reason why we have two different templates for the Happy Thanksgiving. So you'll notice we have the 6s here. So we have our SS6s, and then we have our SS10s here in the middle. Template right there, and then we have our turkey right over here. So again, pretty easy little design to make there in a matter of no time for Thanksgiving. Very quick and easy, again using the TrueType fonts, and that's the TRW 02 script font that we were using there. And I do have some more questions coming in. When you say the path, I'm not seeing what you're speaking of. Now before Tanya, before I actually got rid of it, before I actually let me actually go ahead and show you again. So let's go ahead and get rid of this this design here. So we'll go ahead and open a new tab. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring back my turkey. So if you have the turkey here, what I did originally was I did my right click to do the fill and the outline. So it's going to actually trace the design. It's going to create a single line trace, and it's actually going to place the stones on there. You see that? So now if I zoom in though, notice if I go to my wireframe, what you see is you actually have a path going right through the circles. And that's the path that obviously the wizard uses in order to put the stones on that path, and that's what it's able to stone it out. So when you're working with a PNG file, you don't have those paths because you still have to create it, and that's why I did the single line trace, which created that path for me. So now the wizard recognized that vector file, and it was able to put the stones directly onto that path. Does that make a little bit more sense? Okay, no problem at all, Tanya, no problem at all. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back to our enhanced view here. Looks like time is flying today. Alright, so now let's go ahead and do another cool little fall design here, ready for you guys for the fall. I know I'm not sure about where you guys are located, but here in Florida it's getting quite chilly. We're in the, I believe, the high 50s now, which is, if you've ever been to Florida, it's quite cold for us down here. Alright, so Miles did have a question. Jasmine says freezing over here, 30 degrees. So yeah, that's a little too cold for us over here in Florida. And definitely 16. Forget that nonsense. Nobody wants to be in 16. So I'm sorry to hear that. Just started getting cold. Wow, you guys. Yeah, wow. -5 in Ohio. 3 to 5. Wow. Yeah, I guess I'll take my words back, and I'll enjoy my 59 degrees weather that we have going on here. Awesome, Jasmine. I actually lived in Miami for a few years. And Jennifer, of course, is the one-upper with 80 degrees in California. So congratulations, Jennifer. Enjoy the awesome weather over there. Anna said, yes, 59 is a heat wave. It's far from a heat wave down here, Anna. All right, so let's go ahead and do another cool design just using, again, another one of our TrueType fonts. Now, this is the other script font that I was telling you guys about. Now, this one is all just one stone size. So this is actually we're going to be using the SS10s. with this one. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and type out fall, which is the design I want to go ahead and put inside my, so what I'm going to actually create is like a banner kind of looking design. So I'm going to go ahead and just resize my design here. Again, I'm going to make it at 0.129, and now I have my fall. Now, the one thing I want to notice the reason I typed it out first is I want to see the size. So I noticed this is 7.26 inches tall and 2.9 inches, well, about 3 inches, 2.3 inches wide by 3 inches tall. So I know now the banner I want to create is going to have to be a little bit bigger than that, so this design fits right in there. So let's go ahead, and now the good thing about Corel Draw, it offers you these tools on the side. So what a lot of people don't realize is that it already gives you some shapes for you to work with. So I don't have to actually go out and trace a banner or anything like that. I can actually use the basic shapes that Corel gives me. And I'm simply going to go ahead and click on my polygon over here. At the bottom right, you'll see a little triangle, like a black triangle. If you click on that, it's going to bring down a drop-down menu, and you'll notice here it says banner shapes, which is what I'm going to go ahead and use for this design. And then you can go up here to the top, right next to where you have your outline width here. And again, it's another little drop-down, which is going to give you some different choices to choose from. So you got different types of banners here. So you got that one, and we also got, just different styles that you guys can choose from. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and actually use this banner right here to create the design I want to go ahead and create here. So let's go ahead and just kind of place this over it to make sure it's all fitting correctly. And again, you can actually make it wider, taller, whatever you need to make that design fit in there accurately. Nope. What do we have there? Alright, so let's go ahead and move this down just a tad bit. So now I can tell it fits. So let's go ahead and just make it just a tad bit bigger here. Perfect. Alright. So again, now we have our banner created. We're at the 8.9 inches wide, which is still great for our designs. And now I can go ahead and kind of add some custom work to this banner, and maybe add some flowers in there to make it really look more like a fall design, which is what we're trying to accomplish here. And I'm sorry, I do have a lot of questions coming in. Let's see here. Jasmine said she lost audio. Maybe it looks like she actually signed off and signed back in. What is the name of the font? Okay, this font. Oh, hey Jasmine, how are you? All right, so this particular font is actually the TRW 90 script. So it's right here, the TRW 90 script. As again, you can see the uppercase and lowercase in the front preview here, the font preview. I'm sorry. In that one, I believe it runs anywhere from $15 to $20. I'm not too sure on that on the website. Bobby, you lost audio again? And again, I do apologize if you guys keep losing back and forth audio. We've had some issues with GoToWebinar. I'm not sure if it's all the rain we've been getting here, but we have had some issues with the audio. So bear with us. And again, we are recording this, and the recorded version will come through just fine with the audio and everything. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to our design here. So we got our banner created, and we have our fall in there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually stone out the banner here. So what I want to do is, what do you guys think? Maybe just do a single row or a double row? What do you guys think for this design? Jasmine, shoot us an email. I'll be able to look for that as well. So double. Okay, perfect. So I can show you guys real quick how to do a two-color a two-color banner here using the banner that we got from the Corel Draw software here. So let's go ahead, and I'm actually at the Place and Fill tab here that you guys can see. So I have my islands filled. So I'm going to do one island. I'm going to do one to the outside. I'm going to add my stones, and I want to do a contour spacing of let's go ahead and do 0.14. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do my island fill here, and perfect. So it looks like we have our design created. So we have the outline of the banner, and now I'm going to go ahead and change the color of this one, just in case if I want to do the two rows in different colors. So now I'm going to go ahead and select my path inside here. Again, this is my path. So that's the vector path that obviously the Corel is going to read and place the stones right on that path there. And for this one, all I have to do is simply go to my Add Stone Selected Path, and bam, there you go. So you got your two rows created. Let me go ahead and highlight my design. Again, because we have the paths going right through the middle of the stones, so if I go to my wireframe, there you go. You have those paths still going right through there. We want to get rid of those, so I'm going to highlight my design. And now I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to go to my Clear Paths option down here in the wizard, which is kind of it's got the stones with an X at the end there. And just going to click on that, and what you notice is those paths are now gone. So now technically you would be able to separate this design, send to your cutter with no issue. but we obviously want to customize it to make this design look a lot nicer. So it looks like we have a couple stones here touching, so one thing we can do is just bring these together, and same here. So let's bring these two together and just clean up the design just a tad bit here. Perfect. And notice how quick it is to just fix this area of the design. So now we're able to go ahead and let's see if this fits in there, which it looks like it will. Perfect. So that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted to get the fall in there, and now we can go ahead and customize this a little bit better. So let me go ahead and bring in some pre-made leaves I have here. So I got a design I was working on earlier, and it had some leaves left over, and I'm like, oh, I could probably use that for my webinar. So I go ahead and saved it, and now I'm going to go ahead and incorporate this into this design. And again, another great thing about the TrueType fonts is that you're able to manipulate the design. So if you have a pre-made design that you've purchased from us or another company, you can use the TrueType fonts to customize that design. Also, you can go ahead and we call it recycling designs, where we have different feature or different balls or different leaves or whatever you're using from another design, and kind of incorporate it all into one design to make it another great design for your customers. Another option for your customers as well. Hold shift and clear path. Yeah, Diana, the reason I'm doing holding shift is let's just say if it's a path created by Corel. So let's say if I'm using one of the basic tools there, the clear paths feature won't work. That clear paths feature is only there for the islands created by the Stone Wizard. If you want to delete the paths created by Corel Draw, then you would have to do hold shift and then hit clear paths there. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect, awesome. Perfect. All right, Kay did have a question. What function do you use to clean up the design? Okay, very easy. All I did was basically delete the stone, and I just moved one stone over. Nothing crazy, but if there was a lot of stones touching, I would use my either mark top layer or merge overlapping stones here to get those designs all into one. All right, and again, I did group my wording in there just to make it a little bit easier to work with. So now let's go ahead and add some a little bit more flavor to this design. So I'm going to go ahead and ungroup my leaves here. Let me go ahead and face this the other way. Oh, looks like I won too many clicks there. So let's go ahead and just kind of face this a little bit down to the side. And I want to add a little bit more to this design to make it look a little bit more leafy. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple stones to the outside here. Again, just a little bit more detail to the design there. And now I'm able to go ahead and place this. So let's go ahead, and it looks like it fits just fine right there. So let's go ahead and just add this leaf right there. We're going to go ahead and group it. And now, in order to delete some of the stones in the bottom, so I don't want any stones to be touching this part of the design, so I'm just going to basically highlight all the stones underneath. And because I grouped my leaf here, I can just go ahead and delete those without any issue. You guys see that? So all I did was select those, hit delete, and there you go. You get your leaf in there at the bottom there. We're going to go ahead and just clean this up a little bit, just a tad bit. And okay, looks like we're good. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with this one down here at the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and just add a couple stones to the outside here just to make it look more, a little bit more realistic. Perfect. And let's go ahead and group this together. And now I can bring it up to my top here. And let's go ahead and just flip it just a tad bit. Let's make it fit. There we go. And again, we can leave it like this, or we can just go ahead and kind of fix it in there, fit it in there just a little bit better so we don't have to do any more manipulating with the stone. So let's go ahead and just move this to the side. And all I'm doing to move it is I'm using my arrow key. So that's all I did to move that design a little bit over to the left a little bit. So now I can go ahead and just kind of put the flower down here, the leaf down here. And there we go. So now we have our fall with the leaf inside and one on the bottom here. Cool looking design, very easy to make. And again, we are able to add the colors to this design. So what do you guys think as far as colors? You guys want orange, crystal? What are you guys thinking? So what do you guys think about the leaves here? Tanya, because it's grouped, all I'm doing is just simply click on one of the stones and it highlights the whole leaf. And that's just because I grouped it together, which makes it easier to go ahead and move it in and out. So, alright, so it looks like you guys want the leaves to be topaz. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and make the leaves topaz here. And I'll let you guys customize this exactly how you guys want as far as the colors. So I'll go ahead and give this design out for free after the webinar is over as well. So you guys want the leaves in topaz. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we got topaz all the way at the top here. Alright, what do you guys think about the wording inside? So the fall. Orange, orange. Okay, orange. Looks like orange is the overwhelming favorite, so let's go ahead and do that orange. All right. Perfect. All right. And what do you guys think about the outline now? So you guys want the outlines all in one color, or do you guys want to do this in different colors? All right. So the first, we'll go ahead and do the inside one. Inside, we got crystal. All right. Looks like crystal, crystal. All right. So it looks like crystal it is. So now what I'm going to do, because the borders right now, they're not selected, they're not grouped. All I have to do, all right, Noel wants hunter on the outside, more like a hunter green, you're saying, like a darker green. See what I can do with that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and select my one stone. So I'm just going to select one of the purple stones that you guys see on the inside. I'm going to go to my select all same color, and let's go ahead and make that crystal. So now the inside's white, and let's go ahead and make that outside. Alright, so no one else wants to see it in a hunter. I don't know if I have anything that dark, but let's see. I guess we can use the TRW that we created here. Okay, so that could work. So let's go ahead and make that the hunter green there. So now we have our design ready to create a mock-up. So if you guys are all set, let's go ahead and go to my mock-ups feature here. Now I just want to go ahead and put this on the front of a t-shirt, just a woman's scoop neck, nothing crazy, no proof, nothing. I'm just going to go ahead and do single shirt to the front. So I'm going to go to my options down here in the drop-down menu. I'm going to go to my single shirt only front. And Bobby still wants to know where I can go get font icons like you use. And Bobby, actually, for those icons that you were talking about, the ones that, are you talking about the ones that go inside the actual fonts that we've created? Believe it or not, we've actually gotten real images of people and actually just traced it, and that's the images. So we've had different images of guys from the warehouse playing baseball, you know, kind of different stuff that we played around with, and we actually traced it using our beef spline tool. So those are kind of all custom made. We don't want, obviously, we never want to do anything as far as copywriting or you know, breaking any rules with that. So we do everything as far as creating custom designs as custom as you can get. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and choose my single shirt, my women's scoop neck here, and just gonna select the one on the left here. Just click it once, bam. So you're all ready, and there's your design. So we can go ahead and put this on a blue shirt. We can go ahead and put it on a green shirt. You know, whatever color shirt you want to put this on. And also we can go ahead and do. Let's go ahead and put it. Oh, let's go ahead and switch my shirt here to. Let's just do gray for right now. And then another cool thing about the wizard is we're able to create some custom rhinestones on there. So let's give it that magic stones. Again, this is going to make that design look more realistic. So now if I zoom in, we have our hunter green here, we have our crystal stones, we have orange, and we have our light topaz with that realistic look to that design. And another cool thing you can do is just add some bling to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just select my magic bling here. I'm going to hold shift, so it's going to give you the smaller magic bling stars. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some bling to that, and there you guys go. You guys are all set. This design is ready to go, except for the description at the bottom here, which is not the correct name for this design. So we'll go ahead and just do love fall instead. So there you go. Yeah, that's it, and that design is ready to go. So now you can go ahead and send this design to your customer and show it off, you know, let them know how nice it is, and then if they approve it, then you can go ahead and start on the production part of it where you cut out your templates, brushing in, create your transfer, and pressing them directly to your shirt. Tanya, how would you feel? And Tanya wants to know, how would you fill the inside of the banner around the word fall? Now, Tanya, in that case, that was something I would do off the beginning. I would do the placing the stones inside, maybe a hatch fill in there, and then I would use my merge overlap tool to kind of fade out a lot of the stones in there. Now, of course, this is more of a beginner true type font webinar, so I kind of want to stay away from that and confuse people. Not confuse people. So I want to go ahead and just kind of keep it as simple, more for the beginners, so they can kind of see the process of using the true type fonts to create different designs such as this one. So again, that's another cool way that you can add some tools that are given to you from CorelDRAW, some pre-made designs that you guys have, maybe laying around in your Dropbox, your USB drive, wherever you guys have those designs saved to, and kind of putting them all together with a true type font and creating a pretty nice design in a matter of no time there. All right, so let's go ahead and let me go ahead and get a new page open here. All right, I do have some questions coming in here. Kendra, the bling stars. The bling stars are something that we have installed already in the wizard right here under the magic bling option. And let's just say we have, so all it is just a simple vector file of a bling. of a blank star. And we actually have the free file on the website as well for you to download if you just want to get that blank star. So all it is basically just a star that you guys can just put throughout the design to really make it more realistic, give it more of that the rhinestone look to the mock-up, so the customers knows that they're dealing with, you know, a rhinestone design or a glitter vinyl design rather than a screen printing design. All right, so moving on, let's go ahead and now I'm going to go ahead and bring a different part of the design in. So this is actually a pre-made design. The only thing I want to show you guys is I want to show you how you can use our, like Bobby was mentioning earlier about the image fonts that we've created. So I want to show you guys how you can incorporate those fonts to customize maybe the name on the back or a number on the back of a shirt, you know, to add on more value to that particular design. So let's just say I bring this design in. Right now you can sell this t-shirt. So let's just say this design is ready to go, your customer approved it, it's on a t-shirt, and you want to sell it for $30, $35. So this design would be perfect, right? But now you bring on the addition of custom work where you can add maybe the last name or the number or the last name and the number, and now the value of this t-shirt went anywhere from $30 to $35 to a nice $45, $40, $50 because you're adding more custom work to it. So that's what the vinyl is great for. Let's just say you do have the design made and you have maybe a name that's not so common, like my last name, Marrero, which, you know, you probably don't want to cut out a whole template for that particular last name. In that case, you actually want to use maybe a vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, like the Chemical, Siser, and basically you're going to create a custom number and last name that you're only going to use once, and that's it. You don't have to worry about storing it and keeping it clean. That's a one-time use, and that's it. So what we're going to go ahead and do is let's go ahead and get this design here to the side while I create the custom work on the back of the shirt. And you'll see that we have the option in the wizard to create a design with showing the front, the back of the shirt, and also a proof sheet to send to your customer showing that exact design the way it's supposed to look. Francis said, I tried to export to Facebook and it says the pic is too big. How do I reduce the size? It looks like Doc is answering your question for you there, Francis. I'm not sure what the original question was, but it looks like Doc's got it covered there. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's say, you know, your customer comes to you or myself, and I want to put my last name on the back of this shirt, and I want to give it to my girlfriend, wife, you know, whoever you're giving this shirt to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to request my last name, which is Marrero. Again, not the most common last name, so obviously you probably don't want to cut out a rhinestone template that's never going to be used again. So what I want to do is instead I'm going to use my heat transfer vinyl material to create that custom last name. So let's go ahead and use Impact as a nice font for the last name. So I'm going to go ahead and use Impact for the actual name here, and let's go ahead and just make this just a tad bit smaller. All right. Maybe make it about 9. We'll make it about 9.5, 9.6 there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this to the bottom, and now I want to go ahead and type out 24. I was a big Griffey fan growing up, so we'll go ahead and use 24 here. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and convert this to our TRW laces, which is the one I want to use, my baseball laces, which is what I want to use for this particular design here. All right, so I'm going to go to TRW. Doesn't look like I got in there, but if I go to my Find Font tab here, and I type in TRW base, you'll notice that all my baseball designs pop right up in here. And let's go ahead and do images. So notice how I got my TRW baseball images and I got the N next to it. That just tells me that there's no boxes around this particular TrueType font there. All right, so now what you notice is that I have the first part of the design done, which is my outline with the actual little image inside of the design. So now I have to add my second color to this particular design. And the way to do that, I'm going to go back to my Stone Wizard here. I'm going to go to my Edit tab. Now I do have a 2-color magic text here that I don't believe I went over yet, but it's a very cool feature in the Stone Wizard that allows you to create a 2-color design, TrueType font design very quickly. Now this only works with the fonts that are created the way we make them in that particular software that I was speaking about earlier. So not every TrueType font is going to work with the 2-color magic text unless it's created the way that we create ours. And the way that 2-color magic works is very simple. So let's just say you have, let's just say baseball. And let's go back to my baseball fonts here. And I'm going to choose my images. So I got my images here. So I got the baseball typed out. And now if I wanted to add the second color to that design, all I have to do is highlight. I'm going to go to my edit tab and two color magic, and there you go. So you got your two colors ready to go. Great thing about it is if you go to my wireframe, you also notice it has a magic trap in there, which allows you to put those two different color vinyls, heat transfer, or Siser vinyl, glitter vinyl, directly to the garment. So if you're not layering Easyweed or anything on top of Easyweed, we recommend not layering any material on top of the glitter vinyl because of that rough texture. Eventually it's going to start peeling a lot quicker than if you do the trapping method that we used here, where it's going to allow you to put both of those direct on the garment. Alright, I do see a lot of questions coming in here, so it looks like Doc is actually taking care of those, so go ahead and keep rolling here. Alright, so the difference between the two-color magic text using the alphabet and the numbers are because you can't actually use the two-color magic for adding the second color to the numbers, just because there's no real way to enter that into the software. So what we have done is made it kind of easier way. We found an easier way to do it, still using the two-color magic text here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to select my 24, so I'm going to select both numbers here. I'm still going to hit my two-color magic text, which is going to convert that color back to orange here. So now what I have to do is just simply, I'm going to go ahead and highlight my design. I'm going to highlight over it. Now I'm going to hold Shift. While holding Shift, I'm going to go ahead and type out 2, 4. Oh. We'll go ahead and try this again here. I used the wrong. So I'm going to hold Shift and type out 2 and 4. And there you go. So now what you have is that 24 with the two colors in there, and we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and just make this just a tad bit bigger here. So we have our 24, we have our name here, and this is what's going to go on the back of our shirt design here. And now if you actually want to center it, you can also hit C. So I highlighted both the last name and the number here, and simply hit C in my keyboard, and that centered the two. So now this is going to go perfect on the back of the shirt. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our design in here. Now notice I have both of the designs inside my workspace. That's the biggest thing is when using the two different mockup features here. So you'll notice if I go to my mockups and I go to, we'll do proof front and back. The biggest thing with that is you got to make sure that both designs are inside your workspace area right here. Alright, I do have some questions coming in. Do you recommend a TrueType font that would work with the word wrestling that would still give the customer a lot of bling? Joanne, I do believe we have a. Now, I'm not sure if you're looking for a TrueType font, a vinyl TrueType font or a Rhinestone TrueType font for that. Tammy, the size of the numbers, that is, I have it at 6.3 inches wide by 4.6 inches tall for both numbers. Now, the great thing about it is because this is a vector design, you're able to kind of customize that to whatever size you need it to go. So it doesn't have to be that exact size. You can customize, resize, and go from there. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish up our mock-up here that we're creating. So let's go ahead and change the color of the baseball mom design here. So I'm going to go ahead and ungroup. I'm going to go ahead and ungroup my design here. I'm going to go ahead and select here. I'm going to just make this crystal. And everything else should be good. So just verify. So I'm going to make this red cyan. And finally, we're going to make the bat here in a topaz. All right. And topaz, we figured, is up here. All right, perfect. So now what we have is the front of the shirt design here, and we have the back of the shirt design here. So actually, it looks like this is just hanging off just a tad bit. So if you guys notice that the design doesn't fit all the way in that workspace, no worries. Just go up to your workspace, edit tab up here, and I'm just going to go ahead and make it 25 inches wide. That way I know it's going to fit perfect. Alright, so again, I'm going to highlight my design that I want on the front of the shirt. I got the design that's going on the back of the shirt here, and now we're able to go ahead and place this on a t-shirt, and it's going to create a proof for you guys as well. Joanna, for wrestling, any script font, obviously, it depends on what you're trying to, where you're trying to enter that, create that rhinestone font, if you're trying to create a design with it, or is it just a font? There's different ways to go about it to really make it pop. Just all depends on what you're trying to accomplish as far as, where you're trying to customize that font to fit it to a specific design, and that's what's going to give you more of that pop. Alright, so if I zoom in here now, notice I have my last name here on the back. I also have the shirt design that I created here on the front of the shirt. So now we can go ahead and toggle through our different colors and change that shirt color and make that design really pop. So you guys see that now you got your Marrero 24 on the back here with the vinyl. Again, a custom work. You cut it out once. That's it. You don't have to worry about the template or anything like that. That design's ready. Also here, let's go ahead and add our magic stones to this part of the design. So again, it gives you that realistic look to the mock-up where you can tell them this is exactly what the design's going to look like. You can also add some magic bling to it if you like. Again, just hold shift. It gives it a nice pop with a blink star. There you go. And also, it's going to tell you the dimensions of the design down here for your customer to know what kind of work is going to go into this design, and they know why it's priced at the price it is. Also back here, we can change the background color here so you can actually see the full design as well, as you can tell here as well. And again, just a lot of customization in the mock-up feature for you guys to be able to show off these designs and really sell the customer on that particular design so they can't go anywhere else. They know they have to have this design from you. And again, down here we have our proof sheet that you're able to customize depending on the way you guys do things at your business, because we understand not everybody's going to be doing the 5 to 7 business days for a turnaround. If you do have you have your own set plans, policies at your business, so we want to make sure we respect that, so we allow you guys to go in there and edit anything you guys see in here to better flow and fit your best business style. Alright, so the strip flock is for a male. Okay, there's a lot of different ways to use the strip flock. One way you can actually stack, maybe put, one thing I've seen is actually press the strip flock first and then go over it with a nice electric lens Easyweed color, and it gives it more of a poof look to it. So it's a really nice finish. And actually, if you go to some of the to the trade shows, you'll see in our booth, if you have a Siser rep, they actually have a nice little sample book, and they actually will be showcase that design like that. And it looks really great. I mean, you can actually add some, especially if you're using, let's say, maybe the chemical fashion vinyl, and you want to create a basketball with more depth to it. You can use that strip flock on the bottom, and then add the the basketball material on the top, which is going to give it more proof. Like I said, it's going to give it more depth and more height to that design to really make it stand out. Lisa wants to know, do you have any chevron true type fonts for glitter vinyl? We do. Great question, actually. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. So notice we have here again, we're back at our download page with our true type fonts here. So I'm going to go back to my true type fonts, and I'm going to go to my TRW HTV true type fonts here, and you'll see all the different types of fonts that we have created for heat transfer vinyl. So this can work for either Siser or Chemica, either or. Most of these are 2-color designs, but if you scroll all the way at the bottom here we have one design that is the chevron, and you can tell it has 2 glitter colors here. And at the bottom down here we also have a tutorial video showing how to work with this particular font here. And again, we have used the magic trap feature with this font right here. So what you'll notice is once you actually bring the font, you have the 2 spaces, you have that overlap in there, ready for you to go. So all you have to do for this design is type it out, mirror it, and then you're all set. You have some. Yeah, I'm not sure whether that shouldn't be out of stock. Just I'll change that as soon as the webinar is over. Actually, let's see what that should not be right. But yeah, I'll go ahead and change that. Obviously, the download files, none of them should be out of stock. I'm not exactly sure why this is out of stock there, unless the designer is actually fixing that design up. Also, we have some other ones down here. We also have kind of a zebra font look to it as well, and then we have another chevron font here to the right, more of a bold look to it, where the other one's more of a blocky look. So that's where you will find all these different fonts under the design downloads, and then you go right where it says True Type Fonts, and under there you'll see the different options for your Rhinestone fonts, heat transfer fonts, and also the image fonts that are down here. So the vector image fonts are pretty cool little designs, has all the different vector images here. So actually, Bobby was actually asking about some of the images, and here it is. So we have some of the images here, some of the baseball images there for you guys already created. Lisa, yes, these you can make any size because you're not actually working with rhinestones. When working with rhinestones, obviously you're not able to change the size as easily because you're going to be changing the stone size, which is going to throw everything off. Whereas when you're working with the heat transfer vinyl fonts, the vector fonts, any size will work. You can resize it. You don't have to worry about any stone size moving. So it's very easy for you guys to customize, again, a last name, a number, maybe a team name at the front. It's anything that's going to make your life easier. I would, maybe try to work more with the custom part of it with the vector, just because you're not going to be able to have to cut different templates out that you're never going to use. Do you have a vector file that has a combo of all sports? I would have to look. I know we have a lot of separate files. Let me see. Maybe if I type in, let's see what happens if I type in vector. So if I type in vector, let's see what happens. So we do have several packs, different packs. It looks like they're all kind of the same, under the same sport. Actually, here we have a vector pack 2, and this looks like it has soccer, baseball, farming, rowing. So yeah, it looks like we do have several different packs, and all I did, I just went to the website and I typed in vector in the search box, and I got all the different vector designs that we offer. So you guys can tell the different styles of designs there, some of the newer ones, some of the older ones. So a lot of different options for you guys in there. All right. Do you guys have any questions? It does look like we actually at the 4 o'clock. I do want to answer as many questions as I can before I go. Did you guys have any questions in regards to any of the designs we went over today? Now I will go ahead and post. I'll go ahead and post the original, the fall, and then the Happy Thanksgiving design under our free section on the website. So if you guys go under Shop Products here and you go to Free Designs, I will go ahead and list those under the Free Design section right here, as well as the deals of the day. So if you guys have never seen this section, we have all free designs here for you guys to kind of just a bunch of the giveaways that we've done in the past. A lot of free designs. So if you never got into the actual cutting, maybe a vinyl design, this is a great place to start out. You'll be able to go in here and kind of cut out one of these free designs and start working with it and see, the process without actually having to go in and purchase a design off the start. All right, so these we can make any sun. Do you have a vector file? They're just wondering about the actual chevron inside the letter, if it stretches, because it won't be able to make another V in the chevron. As long as you have the whole design selected. Let me see if I understand what you're saying there, Lisa. So let's go back to, let's go ahead and get rid of this and this. Let me see if I have that design in here. Let me see the name of that design. So, alright, so I'm going to go back to my design downloads again. I'm going to go to my TrueType fonts here, and I'm going to go to my TRW HTV fonts. And if I scroll down, what is the name of it? It is my TRW Chev 2. Alright, so we're going to go TRW Chev 2. Alright. And then I have, so this would be the fill right here. And if I go to my Stone Wizard, I'm going to go to my Edit tab here, and I'm going to do my two-color magic text. So I have my two-color design, and I'm actually going to go ahead and expand it. And notice how it still stays the same. Nothing different. So yeah, because I got both colors selected, I'm going to be able to expand it and make it the size I need it to without it ruining the inside of the actual chevron. So if you actually move the chevron, you can see it's still magic trapped. And if I go to my wireframe view here, notice it's still perfectly magic trapped inside. So as long as you have both of the colors selected at once, then you're able to manipulate that design without it messing the inside or the cavities in the inside without stretching them too much, which obviously is going to ruin the design. Did that help there, Lisa? Yep, awesome. All right, and if you purchase a sports pack, is there a way to do a mock-up for the customer? Joanna, if you're using the wizard, it's very easy. If you're using the wizard, you can just bring in that design and create the mock-up in a matter of no time. So yeah, that's completely up to you. Unfortunately, with the sports pack, that was an older design. Back then, we didn't make the mock-ups. There was, we didn't have an easier way to make the mock-ups. Now with the wizard, just made things so much easier that we actually go ahead and create mock-ups for you guys as well, so you guys can send to your customers. It's a much easier process now than it used to be. So with those older designs, it's a little bit tougher to make those mock-ups. Suzanne, could you put the vector of the wolf head you used in another webinar on the website? Suzanne, shoot us an email. Just send us an email at info@rhinestoneworld.com. I'm not exactly sure on the wolf head, but just send us an email, or excuse me, an email, and I'll see what I can do for you. All right. All right, guys. Now, does anybody have any other questions today? Like I said, looks like we did run over a couple minutes here, but I wanted to get everything I needed to, all the information to you guys here. Hopefully, you guys had a informational webinar here, but I do want to answer any questions before I go. I know Doc has done a great job here on the other side answering most of your questions. A lot of good stuff going on here. Now we do have some webinars that we still have for the rest of the week as well. Have you guys checked out the webinar page on the website? So now what you're actually able to do is check out all the webinars we have for this week. And we have our nice little schedule up here. So if you go to the Rhinestone University True Webinar Schedule, just click on that. And now we have our schedule here. So as you can tell, you can click here, and it's going to take you right to that registration box, or excuse me, the registration link, and that's going to be you're going to be able to sign up for the webinar there. So today is Tuesday, the 18th. So we're at this one right here, the 3 p.m. How to create a unique design with TrueType fonts and TRW Stone Wizard. Of course, that was me teaching it. Now, tomorrow, Wednesday, we have our very first true live class. A very cool thing we're going to start doing. It's going to be, I don't know if you guys ever been to any of our seminars at the trade shows. It's going to be a very similar class to those. It's going to be a live feed watching. It's going to be Matt basically going through the whole process, going to show you guys, how to get your product into schools, leagues, and teams for fundraising. So a very cool webinar that we're going to be doing. It's going to be a very first time doing it. So you guys make sure you just tune in. It is $15, but I feel like that's just a very little price to pay for all the knowledge you guys are going to be getting from that webinar. Also tomorrow night, we're going to have another webinar, 9 p.m. for everybody that isn't able to make it to the webinars during the day. That's going to be a basic CorelDRAW introduction with most used tools when designing. So another very beginner webinar, but very useful, especially for those who have never used CorelDRAW or just starting out using CorelDRAW. Very useful webinar there. And again, that's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so it's a night webinar, which seems a lot of people are enjoying a lot more of, just because they can be at their house, at their own space, kind of being able to watch the webinars and follow along at their own pace. And finally, we have another True Life class, our second one ever, and that's going to be on Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, and that's going to be on how to maximize your profits with Rhinestones heat transfer vinyl and vinyl decals. Again, that's going to be a live video stream. You guys are going to be able to watch Matt kind of going through the process and explaining how to maximize your profits, using different media types such as Rhinestones, heat transfer vinyl, decals, Rhinestone decals as well. So a lot of great things, a lot of great information coming your way this week. Make sure you guys tune in. Again, we do have another free one tomorrow night at 9 p.m., but the $15 you're going to be paying for this for the webinar on Wednesday and Thursday, I believe, is going to be nothing compared to what you guys are going to get out of as far as information-wise. It's a great class. I've actually seen Matt do these real life at the seminars. And the looks on the faces of the people coming out is always great. I mean, they really love those classes. So if you guys have a chance, please feel free to sign in. Again, it's going to be a great time, and you guys are going to spend an hour and a half with Matt, kind of showing you through the process of how he started the business here at the Rhinestone World. All right. Well, thank you guys again for joining us. I know you guys are. I know it's a little cold up there in the north. We're getting ready here for, like I said, for the blizzard. It seems like it's just quite cold, but I do appreciate your time, you guys spending your time with me here today. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. As always, my name is Rudy. I have Doc Brown on the other side answering all your questions. If you do have any questions, feel free to give us a call, 941-755-1696. Again, my name is Rudy, signing off from the rhinestoneworld.com. Have a great day, everybody.